My name is Tiffany McKerracher, and today I'm going to talk to you about why you should adopt from shelters. First, I'd like to start off by apologizing for not standing. I have been battling the stomach flu the last few days, so I've been kind of under the weather and I'm still not feeling 100%. But I'll begin. 6.5 million. I'm sure many of you are wondering what that number represents. That number is the amount of dogs and cats that are currently in animal shelters across the United States. When you are deciding whether or not you want to adopt or add a new fur baby to your family, you should consider adopting instead of going to a breeder or a pet store. I myself have adopted a shelter dog. My dachshund Snickers was a shelter dog. He was brought to the shelter when he was only 8 weeks old. He was malnourished, very sick, and he had been abused. The shelter nursed him back to health before placing him with me. He was one of the best dogs I ever had. During this speech, I would like to discuss the differences between no-kill and kill shelters, the differences between shelters and breeders and pet stores, and the benefits of adopting a dog from a shelter. Let's begin by talking about the differences between kill and no-kill shelters. aheinz57.com states that no-kill shelters do not kill healthy dogs or treatable animals even if the shelter is full. To me, this means they don't kill dogs that are healthy, regardless of its breeds. The particular shelter will not put the animal down just because they don't have room in the shelter or the breed is viewed as a dangerous breed. ASPCA.org states that approximately 1.5 million shelter animals are killed every year. These are the dogs and cats that don't go to the no-kill shelters. Traditional shelters take in any and every animal that comes into their facility. Once they get to capacity, they have to start euthanizing dogs and cats. They normally start off with the older animals and the animals that are viewed as the dangerous breeds, like pit bulls. ASPCA.org also goes on to state that 31% of the dogs that enter shelters and 41% of cats that enter those shelters are euthanized every year. This is because these shelters take in more than they can handle. They need people to adopt these animals. The need for people to adopt animals is growing every day. We have a wonderful stray rescue in our area. A few times a year, a company will sponsor adoptions and cover the adoption fees. This helps get the dogs and cats new homes. Now that I've discussed the differences between no-kill and kill shelters, let's talk about the differences between breeders and shelters. Pet stores and breeders only have one thing in mind: making money. They want to make the most money possible, and they'll do whatever it takes. PETA2.com stated that most animals are sold in pet stores are bred in large-scale breeding mills. They are kept in tiny cages that are never cleaned. Most of the dogs are sick or malnourished by the time that they reach the pet store. PETA2.com goes on to state that dead and dying dogs and cats are considered part of the cost of doing business. Anyone can go into a pet store or contact a breeder and take a dog home. As long as they have the money that you need, you'll leave with a dog or cat. Some of these breeds can cost anywhere between $500 and $1,500, depending on the type of breed. They don't screen potential owners either. They don't provide veterinary care. They just hand the animal off to whoever has the money. Shelters, on the other hand, have an intense screening process. You must first fill out an application. They will then check your references. They will call your landlord to make sure you're allowed to have a dog. You have an in-person meeting where they decide if the dog is the right fit for you. They take everything into consideration before allowing someone to adopt the animal. Another good thing about shelters is that they provide veterinary care to the sick animals. Some shelters even have foster parents for the animals so that the animals can get one-on-one contact with people and grow relationships. Shelters actually care about the well-being of the animals that are in their care. They want to go to the perfect home. Now that we know the differences between shelters and breeders, let's talk about the benefits of adopting shelter animals. I've already mentioned the veterinary care, but let's go in a little deeper about that. Shelters give dogs vaccines. They get spayed and neutered, and all the veterinary care that they need while they're at the shelter is taken care of. This can include things such as medicine if they're sick, or if a dog needs surgery because they came in with a broken leg, they'll provide the veterinary care for that. Once you take your new fur baby home, the only thing you will have to continue to pay for is food and the annual vaccines. As opposed to breeders, shelters only charge a minimal fee for adopting, usually under $300. This fee covers things such as vaccinations, spay and neuter that I previously spoke about, sometimes puppy training, and they will microchip your animal for you. If you choose to get a dog at a breeder, you could spend hundreds of dollars on top of whatever you had spent on the animal to get them fixed, vaccinated, and microchipped. According to animalfriends.com, another benefit is most of the dogs are house trained, since a lot of the dogs coming into shelters are older and have come from a previous house. So that'll be one less thing you have to do with your new fur baby when he gets home. Animalfriends.com goes on to say that there are a variety of different types of animals at the shelters. You aren't stuck with one particular breed. Each dog at the shelter is different. They have their different personalities, different characteristics. They love differently. You'll never know what you'll see when you walk in to a shelter. You'll never know what kind of dog you'll find. You could find the type of dog that you never knew you wanted. In conclusion, I have gone over the differences between kill and no-kill shelters, why you should adopt from a shelter instead of buying from a breeder or a pet shop, and the benefits of adopting from a shelter. I have told you my own personal adoption story. I hope that you will choose to save the life of an innocent dog or cat that is just looking for their forever home. Thank you. I would like to introduce my audience. If you would come over here, please. Quickly. This is Anthony. He was my wonderful audience during my speech. Thank you.